But it is clear that our state needs a more vigorous and more comprehensive and more aggressive position if we are going to slow the spread of this epidemic.
A major announcement from Governor Jay Inslee this morning in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, calling for a ban on all big events with 250 or more people in King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties through at least March. The decision now affects sporting events, concerts, faith-based events, and conferences, and of course, much more.
Hey, you talk about it. We have so much to get to with team coverage stressed across the region. We start with our chief reporter, Chris Daniels in Seattle. Chris, you were front and center at that news conference, asked the first question to the governor. Can you remember covering anything like this in all your time here?
You know, with the county executives and the mayors and the governor all assembled in one room, I guess the straight answer would be no. And you heard from Jeff Duchin, the chief health officer for Seattle King County Public Health, who called this unprecedented, compared it from a science perspective with a mass earthquake in the area. This is all about, according to the governor, flattening the curve, flattening the idea of mass transmission like has been seen in other parts of the world, like in China and in Italy, where this virus has spread throughout a community at an exponential rate, unlike anything else, unlike the flu. And so the governor now has implemented via state law, he says, a restriction on any events over 250 people. Yes, that applies to sporting events, but it also applies to things like parades and conventions. And then on top of that, it was interesting to hear King County Executive Dow Constantine come forward and take it another step, saying there are going to be restrictions on events that are less than 250 people, so smaller gatherings with families. And then on top of that, we heard the Snohomish County Executive, Dave Summers, say that his county will follow suit. So I did have a chance to ask the governor, just how do you implement something like this? How do you enforce something like this? What are the penalties for something like this? Here's how he answered that on the podium.
The penalties are you might be killing your granddad if you don't do it. And I'm serious about this. The principal reason this is going to work is for people to understand the consequences of lack of community responsibility. And if you're thinking of having a 1,000-person wedding right now, you can't do that legally. And the reason is because we care about the grandparents that might attend.
Yeah, there's still some nuance as far as what the executive was talking about, but Jay Inslee did say behind the podium what people don't want to see right now is people shoulder to shoulder in a bar, and that's what they're trying to avoid, in particular in the smaller gatherings in King County and Snohomish County. As far as how long this lasts, the governor says at least through the end of March, but it is likely that that will continue. And then one of the other big questions that came out of this that wasn't really answered is the governor talking about schools. What happens with schools in this three-county area of Snohomish, King, and Pierce County? He was not going to make any sort of edict today. He said there could be one, though, on the way, but right now schools are in session, and he says they should prepare for long-term closures. Back to you.
Chris Daniels reporting live from Seattle. The Mariners, by the way, in a statement said they are working on alternatives, perhaps playing in Arizona. As you get a live link at CenturyLink Field, there is an XFL Dragons game scheduled this weekend. Sounders have a game there in 10 days. Kira Fallon, outside Clink right now. Kira, what are you hearing?
Yeah, good morning. So now, or good afternoon, I should say. So now thousands and thousands of fans are going to be impacted by this. Of course, that game here at CenturyLink will still continue, the Seattle Dragons games, but fans will not be able to go inside. So we did see a tweet from the Seattle Dragons organization. They are saying that anyone who has tickets will be refunded, or those who have season tickets can either be refunded or get a credit towards a Seattle Dragons game. But yeah, fans are not going to be allowed inside. So other community events as well, not even just those big events with 250 people and over. We heard some conversation during that press conference that some smaller events will also be kind of evaluated on a case-by-case basis as well, per public health guidelines. So this means for the bigger events like sporting events, concerts, parades, all of that is now banned in the 3 counties, that is Pierce, King, and Snohomish counties. Thousands of people were expecting to come to the Clink for the Seattle Dragons game on Sunday. Now they won't be able to do that. And of course, Sounders fans are also going to be impacted in countless other events across the 3 counties. We spoke with a few people on their way into work this morning for their reaction on this ban.
It's not something you like, for sure, but it probably makes a little bit of sense in the long run to make sure everybody's okay.
It seems like the transmission is close contact, and so it seems like probably limiting that for non-essential is probably a good idea.
I'm not sure how I feel about open events, though. Open air, it feels like more confined things like Comic-Con, things like that maybe, but maybe not like sporting events.
So the Seattle Mariners also announcing they will be moving games through the end of March. So this is impacting so many sports organizations, so many people across the 3 counties. And then, of course, even internationally, they have postponed or canceled a lot of big events like this as well. So as you heard from some of those fans that we talked to this morning, some people are pretty upset by this. Others really understand just how serious this outbreak has really become here in Washington State and all across the world. I'm live here in Seattle. Kira Elfallen, King 5 News.
All right, thank you so much, Kira. Also, there are a number of events coming up at the Tacoma Dome, we know, that will have to be postponed, if not canceled altogether.
Right, in April, some big name artists, Billie Eilish, Celine Dion, Rage Against the Machine. Our Tacoma Bureau Chief Kristen Ayers joining us live in Tacoma right now, outside the Tacoma Dome. What's the reaction there, Kristen?
Yeah, it's going to be a big impact here, and you have to imagine a lot of people are going to be disappointed. We've already seen some of them commenting on Twitter earlier today. You can see the number of upcoming events on the Tacoma Dome's website. They have not been updated. They still show that these events, including an electronic dance concert by Nightmare, a Tacoma Wedding Expo, and the country music star Brantley Gilbert, all of these happening in the next week to 10 days, all of these showing that they'll still go forward, but we now know that these events will likely be canceled. There are about a dozen total events planned, big events, concerts and career fairs and that sort of thing planned here at the Tacoma Dome between now through April. And you can also see that just looking up above here, that big sign we see from the Tacoma Dome continues to show a lot of these events showing, despite the fact that we have high confidence that many of them will be canceled because of all of this. We talked to the organizer of a wedding show expo that was supposed to be here in 30 days. He said in 30 years of doing these events at the Dome, he's never seen anything like this.
30 years worth of doing bridal shows. I've done probably close to 400 in my career. We faced 9/11. 9/11 was on a Tuesday. We did a bridal show that weekend, no problem. We faced all kinds of ice storms and snowstorms, in the last several years.
He says this is the first time that he's had to cancel through inclement weather. You heard him say 9/11. He says the SARS epidemic as well. They continue to go forward. He does say that the Tacoma Dome has been in touch with him, and they are talking to him about the possibility of rescheduling. He can't pick a date right now because it's just unclear when these restrictions will lift and whether he'll be able to organize something in April at all. So that line of communication is staying open. We have reached out to the Tacoma Dome for more information about what they'll be telling folks and when we'll find out whether some of those big concerts, Celine Dion, Billie Eilish, whether those will go forward in the months of April or May. We have not heard back from them. Reporting live in Tacoma, Kristen Ayers, King 5 News.
All right, thank you so much, Kristen. We know that the outbreak is forcing businesses to make some big changes. Some don't think that they will survive this slowdown and have decided to already close for good.
Yeah, we just are so curious to see what's going to happen. Our hearts are with all those people. Callie Greenberg, live in downtown Seattle. And Callie, a lot of businesses are getting ready for things to really change for the worse before they get better, aren't they?
For weeks, possibly a few months. In fact, we're in Belltown right now. It's lunch hour on a Wednesday, and you can just feel and you can definitely see how quiet it is in downtown Seattle right now. Now, the governor said while the ban does not apply to restaurants, he did say seeing people shoulder to shoulder in bars is completely unacceptable. So it will be interesting to see the trickle-down effect. If there are no events, or if they're banning these events, are people going to go out to eat before them or go out after them, and see how it impacts places like restaurants. The Downtown Association says they've seen a steep decrease in retail sales and in restaurant customers. And then you have restaurants like Local 360 here, who they're adding to a small yet growing list of businesses who are putting signs in the door that are just saying, hey, because of the coronavirus, we aren't making it out of this, and we are closing down immediately. This restaurant here, we spoke to the general manager of Local 360, who told us that they were hoping to close just a few days a week, but there was too much uncertainty going into the future, a concern over how this will impact visitors to the city, including things like cruise ships over the summer months. Now, the GM here said after a difficult few years, he called the coronavirus the cherry on top.
You know, it still tried to sink in. You know, this morning when I got up, I was kind of, is it really happening? Is it true? You know, I had lots of support from friends and people I've been working with for a long time just text me and call me and say, hey, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. So it's not about just losing a job, it's just losing a family. And
So far we know of 3 restaurants in the Seattle area who have decided to close ultimately now because of this social distancing and because of the slowdown from the coronavirus. The general manager here at Local 360 said he wouldn't be surprised if other restaurants closed down. He says he's been talking to several other people in the industry, and he says really everyone is struggling right now. Now, the governor yesterday did put out some measures statewide that he's hoping will help businesses and their employees. Mayor Jenny Durkan also made some announcements yesterday that will hopefully help businesses here in Seattle, including things like loans, tax breaks, helping with utility bills. But they're telling me, the restaurant workers are telling me, that nothing really can make up for the fact that customers just aren't walking through the door. So now they're saying, hey, if you can come by, order takeout, order delivery, just bring any business into these businesses as they prepare for these slow months ahead. In Seattle, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.
All right, Callie, we're going to talk a little bit more about that economic impact. We're already feeling it around Western Washington, people being laid off, having to take unpaid leave, I should say. It's getting bad.
Yeah, so we have the president of the Downtown Seattle Association, John Scholes, with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Your reaction to that? I mean, even though we are seeing help kind of trickle in from the state, it doesn't account for the fact that customers are not getting out.
Yeah, absolutely. The downtown, really across our city and region, businesses have been devastated already over the last week. You know, hotel occupancy's plummeted, customers aren't there, we've lost major conventions and group business, and a lot of folks are working from home. And those are customers usually on a daily basis for our retailers, our restaurants, and also for our arts and cultural community, our theaters now. And with the announcement today and the recommendations and really mandates coming from the governor, which I believe are totally appropriate, to cancel large events, those impacts are only going to get more severe. Downtown has taken a punch in the gut here and an uppercut and a left jab, and we're early in the rounds here, and so this is a significant economic impact.
And to that end, what do you try to do to, as the governor said, he doesn't want people shoulder to shoulder in bars, which is totally understandable and seems appropriate. What do you tell the bar owners and the waiters and the waitresses who need to earn a living?
We all have to do our part, I think, to stop the spread of this as a community, as individuals, as companies, as organizations. And this is incredibly painful to them. And I feel for our small business community and those workers that don't have jobs today. We've already seen dozens of closures in the downtown, and that translates to hundreds, if not thousands, of workers that have already been laid off. We're also seeing some great companies that are able to step up to support their employees, folks like Starbucks, Amazon making an investment to support small business, the Seattle Foundation. So the private sector is really showing some incredible leadership here to help our community, to work with the public sector. But there's no doubt that there are severe economic impacts that have already been felt, more that are coming. We need to be thinking now about how we recover and also how we support those small businesses and workers right now with relief from the local level, the state level, and the federal level.
Really quickly, what is your message to people out there, not even business owners, but families who are trying to decide, should I go out to eat? Should I not? Should I go shopping? Should I not? What do you
Follow the guidelines from our public health officials, because the sooner we all do that, the sooner we'll get back to a sense of normalcy in our community and help our economy and those small businesses.
All right, thank you so much for joining us here on what I know is a really tough day for you and all the people that you deal with.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, so we do want to give you a look at the latest numbers of coronavirus cases in Washington, and we do have a bit of good news. So far, we have 267 confirmed cases in Washington state. Of those people, 24 have died. The state health department says more than 2,000 people have tested negative for the virus. So that is some good news there.
And we have expanded our coverage tonight of our Facts Not Fear live Q&A virtual town hall. It's from 7 to 9 o'clock now on King 5. We will also be on Facebook Live. You can ask your questions. We'll have experts lined up, business, medical, and otherwise.